Hey. Welcome, guys. Welcome to Divine Transmissions. I am your host, Lisa Marie Shakti Ma, bringing you powerful transmissions to radically expand your consciousness and elevate your frequency. So today we're talking about intrinsic worthiness. And today's episode, I'm going to be talking about what is worthiness, why is it intrinsic to our being, and then most likely in the second half of the show, we're going to be doing a transmission, a healing / meditation. So to really offer you the space to tap into your worthiness and heal any blocks or anything that's getting in the way to that full permission within yourself. So I'm so happy to have you guys here. And this is one of my most beloved topic, so to speak. I carry it very close to my being. It's very important to me, and I feel like it is important. And if it isn't important, it definitely should be important to the majority of humanity. And why do I say that? Because what I see is that everyone, to some degree, is running within the belief that they are not worthy. And this is really limiting. It really limits us in our potential. It really limits us in our ability. It really limits us ultimately in our power. And it's definitely a pain point that is constantly tapped, is constantly brought to the surface, and something that we're often working within that pain point through our subconscious actions. Even our words often reflect that belief of unworthiness. And so if we were to really heal this space in humanity, we would have a lot more love and self-acceptance and a lot more empowered individuals, that's for sure. And if you're somebody who is an empath, or somebody who is a healer, or somebody who is on this spiritual journey, I can pretty much guarantee that you have quite a large belief in unworthiness, depending on where you are in your journey. And as always, I just want to say that where you are in your journey is absolutely perfect. There's never any judgment here in this space. There is only love and awareness. But for those of you who are trying to actively be a part of serving, if you yourself know that you're meant to serve, then really tapping into this unworthiness and ultimately healing it and realizing your worthiness is your ticket, so to speak, into great, expansive places of service to others. So I invite all of you in, but I'm really calling out specifically those who know that they're meant here to do something for others. It's somehow known and talked about often in the spiritual community that healers and again, people who are of service have this connection to their unworthiness. It is one of the challenges or the hurdles that those of us that stepped into this space ultimately are here to overcome. Because why? Through that process of not knowing your worth and then reconnecting to your worth, you anchor in, you deepen your understanding of that worthiness. And that deepening is what we are here to help others connect to, what we are here to emanate, what we are here to provide and show and be an example and really help others achieve that same level. But it's through the disconnect of our worthiness that actually creates the rebound back into it, like a rubber band. And when we rebound back into it, we really anchor in. We really have a deeper understanding of what that means. So just calling you guys all out in this. So first off, what is worthiness? Worthiness can be described as a lot of different things. For instance, we can say that worthiness is understanding the value of self. Worthiness is feeling that you are able, that you deserve to receive, to be loved, to have, to give, to really be empowered. But I want to take it a step further than that. I want to really expand your consciousness into what worthiness really is. Not just the understanding of worthiness, not just the anchoring in, but really, what is it? So the universe is created from awareness, love, and light. Those are the three, you can call it ingredients of the beautiful baked good called the universe. It's like the ooey gooey chocolate brownie. Awareness, love, and light. Awareness, love. So I'm going to stop here, right here on this word right here, love. And I want you all to take a little bit of a deep breath here. Because within this word, we get very, very confused. What is love? And I don't want to get into that in this conversation. I'm just drawing awareness that we don't even understand what love is in humanity. We think that love is passion. We think that love is romance. We think that love is lust. And we think that love is the feeling of being in love. But that's not what love is. Love is one of the first three ingredients of the universe. But it's unconditional love, absolute love. So the love that creates the universe is the space in which it's like the container in which light could then create, because everything is light. But it had to be in a container. And that container is the love, is the unconditional space, meaning it allows for everything and anything to be created. It is fully accepting. So take another nice deep breath. So the universe is created within a space of pure, absolute acceptance. Meaning, you, my dear one, are also created within the same energy. You, at the foundation of your being, are awareness, love, light. You are simple ingredients that make something absolutely divine, like an ooey gooey brownie, chocolate brownie, I want to say. You are source energy. You are creation. And we hear this a lot. But whether you actually believe it or not is your understanding, your anchoring within your worthiness. So your worthiness is like a permission slip. It's a permission slip, not to go to the bathroom, but to really fully acknowledge you, the self with a capital S. You, your divine being. You as in source. You as in unconditional love. You as an infinite abundance. You as an infinite intelligence. So if any of those words, if any of this awareness that I'm bringing in right now begins to make you uncomfortable, begins to trigger you in some way, whether it's physical, mental, or emotional, you can begin to see, understand that that right there is your unworthiness or your belief that you are unworthy and you have narrowed down and not given yourself permission, closed yourself off from the infinite you. So we see this a lot in humanity, a lot in humanity. Unworthiness shows up as people working very, very hard, trying very, very hard in life, and really not receiving. They're giving a lot of their energy, right? They're putting a lot of themselves into whatever they're doing, and they're not really getting a whole lot back. Of course, there's a lot of things that can determine what's going on there, but the majority of that energy is worthiness. If you're giving a lot, if you're putting a lot into your reality and very little seems to be coming back, that is like kinking the hose of your infinite capacity. That kinking is that belief of unworthiness. When we believe we're not worthy of receiving, when we believe we're not worthy of unconditional love, when we believe that we're not worthy of the power that we contain simply by being us, we kink off the hose unconsciously, of course, because who would want to do that, right? Nobody wants to kink the hose. We all want abundance. We all want empowerment. We all want beauty and love and joy and bliss. But through our belief structures that we've obtained throughout our life, we kink the hose. And so maybe you kink it off practically all the way. So very little seems to come to you, so to speak. You're constantly fighting for validity of yourself. You're constantly trying to prove yourself in one way or another. Or maybe you've kinked it and there's droplets coming out, or maybe you just kinked a little bit and you've got some flow, but it's not the full, infinite flow that exists for you. This shows up in a lot of ways, and it's a main reason that we feel the need to, one, protect ourselves. And I don't mean physically, I'm meaning emotionally, mentally, in those spaces, not physically. Physically, if you need to protect yourself physically, by all means, sweetheart, you protect yourself. You get out your guns. I meant your arms, not your shooting guns. Protecting yourself mentally and emotionally, or defending ourselves. And I'm sure all of you can really relate to how many times you see in conversations, or I don't even know if they're called conversations really anymore. They're more like battles on social media where somebody says something and then there's an attack and then there's another attack and they're defending and they're fighting and they're battling out. That all comes from unworthiness and self-hate. But those two are very closely linked. In fact, often one is really piggybacking off of the other. Because when you don't feel worthy, you begin to self-hate. And through self-hate, you begin to hate others. Not even necessarily hate. That's a big word, right? We are very careful about that word in society. But you tend to dislike or not accept yourself, dislike, not accept others. If you reverse that, not accepting of others, you get to not accepting of self. And then you reverse that further, you get to the belief that you're not worthy. So the belief that we are unworthy, or the unworthiness, the energy of unworthiness fuels so much of this needing to defend ourselves. It also fuels the need for validation. And we see this everywhere, right? People seeking to be seen, people seeking to be validated. And again, there is nothing wrong with any of these energies. This is all coming from unworthiness, which is a pain point, which is a limiting belief. And the beauty about really understanding this is then when you do see somebody who's just like yearning for validation, like they're just wanting so badly somebody to tell them how beautiful they are. They're wanting so badly for somebody to tell them, that they're good at their job, or they're a good mom, or they're a good dad, or whatever. They're seeking that so badly. You can begin through the space of awareness to have compassion, understanding that they're just coming from the pain of unworthiness. That's a big pain. And then from the need of validation, we're constantly creating masks within ourselves, right? Creating costumes, trying to better our looks, trying to make a better looking career, a better looking family, having a better looking house, a better looking car, all of these things to try to express that we are worthy, that we are valid, but behind all of those masks and that charade is actually unworthiness. And just to be clear, unworthiness can come through in the perception of confidence as well. Sometimes the most confident people, it's the same thing. It is a mask that they are putting out there to cover up the fact that actually they really don't believe in themselves. But if they project out that they're really confident, then surely other people will believe that. And they'll get validated through that they are in fact worthy. So it's everywhere, the unworthiness and the belief of this unworthiness. And it's a big, massive wound because it goes very much against one of our original ingredients. It's like, you're making these ooey gooey chocolate brownie deliciousness, right? And you're putting in all the beautiful ingredients, and then you throw in soap. And then sorry. You go to eat your brownies and it tastes like soap, and the whole recipe is ruined, even though that's not really what I'm trying to say here. But it's so against all the perfect, you could have the best chocolate, right? Highest quality of all ingredients. But if you throw soap in there, it's not gonna taste very good at all. So because that unworthiness is like that soap, it grates, that's the word I was looking for. It grates inside of us. It hurts. It's constantly like rubbing against us, trying to tell us, no, 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 this isn't truth. This isn't truth. This isn't truth. But when we don't understand what that grating is, we take it on as more. It emphasizes, it lights up that it's because it's trying to light up the belief of unworthiness. But instead of us saying, oh yeah, whoops, that's me believing that I'm unworthy, it's like, oh yeah, I'm unworthy. Oh, I feel so shameful. I feel so horrible. I'm just a failure. I can't ever do anything right. And that's all of that energy grating against the truth of who you are, trying to show you actually, it's your emotional guidance system, trying to tell you, wake up. What you're feeling, what you're thinking is not true. And so it feels bad. That's the whole point of the emotional guidance system. Bad feelings are there to show us that we're believing, we're thinking, or we're experiencing something that isn't in alignment with our truth. And the good feelings are there to go bing, 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 yay, 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 winner, 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 chicken dinner. You are thinking, believing, feeling, experiencing what is in alignment to your being, to your truth. But we haven't known that. Nobody taught us that. So here this whole time, when we feel shame and guilt and the energy of failure, and it grates on us all in unworthiness, we take on those emotions as, oh yeah, that's true. Oh my gosh, that's exactly who I am. So just taking a moment to really allow yourself to see, to understand in your life where this shows up, how you believe that you're unworthy, where unworthiness expresses itself through your subconscious and into your reality. Reminding yourself that if you're seeing it in your reality, it exists here within you. So if you seem to struggle at work, don't really seem to do a good job, apparently losing jobs or losing placement like that. You feel like everybody is always judging you or is against you. You feel like you can just never quite pull it off. You feel like you work really hard and you're not getting the same in return. Or if you feel like you're always seeking validation from others, validation even from yourself, always trying to change something about yourself to reach a better level of yourself, prettier, slimmer. See right now in this moment, potentially one, two, or several ways in which this unworthiness is showing up in your space. And just take a nice deep breath. It's not about judging any of that. It's just about awareness, just observing it from as most neutrality as you can, as if it's a third party. Being the observer of yourself is one of the most powerful things you can do, because you begin to see the limiting beliefs that have been running the show the whole time and why you're struggling. And so it's not about criticizing or judging yourself. It's simply about taking a larger picture, a larger expanded awareness of yourself. So you can see where this limiting belief is coming in. Oh, sweet. There it is. And actually, the best thing you can do is take it on as a beautiful opportunity, because anytime you're shown a limiting belief, you now have the opportunity to transform it. Where before, when you didn't see it, it was much harder to transform it because you weren't even aware of it. So it's a beautiful thing to see this energy. When you come at it like that, and that childlike essence, like, ooh, yay, there's one. Ooh, yay, there's another one. Oh, wow, that one's really intense. Beautiful. Now I can see, right? It's like opening your eyes for the first time to yourself. And so from that space of neutrality, always, then you can allow for transformation. Anytime we start to judge or criticize ourselves for any of these beliefs, you're already taking steps backwards, actually, instead of forward, because we want to accept ourselves within this space. We need to want to accept ourselves in all of our perceived failures and faults, all of our perceived wrongdoings and not enoughs, because all of that feeds guilt and shame. And we're trying to reach deep acceptance, self-love, and worthiness. And none of that comes from criticizing. Hindsight is always 2020. So we've always got to step in as if we're just grabbing ourselves and giving ourselves a big, gigantic hug, or feeding ourselves ooey gooey chocolate brownies, because that works too. Sometimes I would definitely prefer that over a hug. So intrinsic worthiness. So here you kind of have an idea about unworthiness, and hopefully you've been shown a couple of ways in which it shows up in your life. Beautiful. Good work. So how do you begin to transform that? And how do you begin to truly believe? Because there's a difference between a conceptual understanding and an experiential anchoring. Conceptual understanding is, yes, I am worthy. And you're still running the program, the limiting belief of unworthiness, because it's not really anchored in. Conceptually, it makes sense to you. It even resonates with you. yeah, that resonates. I am worthy. However, you haven't really anchored that belief, that understanding into your experience, and you have therefore yet to directly experience that new belief or that new understanding in your reality. That's where the shift happens. We can conceptually understand all day long. And quite frankly, a lot of people only get to that point. And again, at least they're there, right? There's a beautiful spot, a beautiful place within the journey. And there's nothing right or wrong with any of that. But to really bring it in and start to see it in your reality, it needs to be anchored in. And when you anchor in that belief, then you start to project that into your reality. And then it becomes very experiential. All of a sudden, you are experiencing your intrinsic worthiness rather than just believing in your intrinsic worthiness. So I want to get you there, start you on that path, anyways. But let's start conceptually first. And briefly, I just want to remind everybody, if you just tuned in, that you are listening to Divine Transmissions, and I'm your host, Lisa Marie Shakti Ma. And we are talking today about intrinsic worthiness. And I was expressing what is worthiness, and now I'm going to step into intrinsic worthiness. And if you hang into the end of the show, we're going to do a meditation, transmission, channeling, healing, how to help you guys really connect to this energy. So, the intrinsic worthiness. First, the conceptual understanding of it. Why are you intrinsically worthy? So, I mentioned a little bit about this previously, right? That your primary ingredients are the same as the universe because you are from the universe. It's like if you cut out a piece of a chocolate brownie from the entire thing of chocolate brownies, it's still got the same ingredients, unless you like dumped something into that particular portion of the brownies, which isn't very common. So otherwise, it's made of the same thing. You just took out a little chunk. So that's just like you divide the brownies up into millions and millions and infinite amounts of souls. We're all made of the same ingredients: awareness, love, light. I have to say, I really like how the analogy is ooey gooey chocolate brownies today. I don't usually get that one. I'm enjoying it. I hope you are. Those simple ingredients are obviously the most profound ingredients available, right? Because they are the ingredients of creation. And as I mentioned, that second ingredient is love, unconditional love. Meaning that no matter what you do, who you are, how you express, you are loved. You are held. You are created. You are unconditional love. That is what you are, no matter what. The universe does not judge whether something is right or wrong, good or bad. There is karma that's a natural balancing of energies, but it still doesn't judge. It just simply balances. Oh, yep, oh, a little heavy there. Let's lift it up with this one over here. Yep, oh, this one's going heavy. Let's lift it up over here. It's just balancing, simple as that, even though very, very complex at the same time. But no matter what we do, we are always contained, held within unconditional love. So your worthiness is simply your permission within that space. So in the moment of the now, right now, there is infinite potential and there is absolute unconditional love. If you have spent any time within meditation and a little bit more of an active meditation where you sink into the now, you begin to experience high levels of love, joy, and bliss. Because all of a sudden, you've given yourself permission. You've opened the gates to receive that which is already here, the infinite amount that exists right here, right now. And so the worthiness is just your ability to receive that. But the worthiness, the love, the infinite potential already exists there. It's just a permission slip. It's just how much you can open that door, how much you can unkink that hose. I know a lot of people talk about our infinite self, our infinite abundance. But have you experienced it? Because if you haven't experienced it on some level or another, then again, right now it's conceptual to you. And so maybe you haven't fully opened the floodgates to feeling worthy because it's still conceptual to you. And there's a level of trust, there's a level of faith that comes with this work. You have to trust and surrender into that which you already are. And through that surrendering, that trust, surrendering into the moment, letting go of the thoughts, letting go of the emotions, letting go of your to-do list and all the things that are in your space, and just being present. You begin to slowly step into the energy of presence, which is unconditional love. That's your worthiness. That is your ticket right there. Just simply allowing and surrendering. It's already there. You are already it. All you have to do is open up. And when you open up into that presence energy, you begin to experience the love, the joy, the bliss, the infinite abundance, the vastness that exists right here, right now. Let's take another nice deep breath. So you may feel triggered in this because you're being asked to be present. That's really hard for a lot of people because we don't feel that we're worthy. It's much easier not to be present because being present is painful, potentially. Being present, there's a lot of energy here in presence, a lot. If you don't feel worthy of it, you can be afraid of it, consciously or unconsciously. You can fear the intense abundance, the intense love that exists because it's like, oh, I'm not worthy of love or abundance. So that's not what that is. It must be something else. And it's really, really intense. So it's got to be something bad. And we close up and we come out of the present moment and we get locked into either the past or the future. And we spend all of our time in the past and the future. But our worthiness is here in this very moment. Already here, already present. All you have to do is surrender. So let's take a moment to step into this space together. Of course, if you're driving or doing something active, you probably shouldn't close your eyes. Otherwise, if you're in a nice space and you can close your eyes, I invite you into this. And if you're not in a nice space, you can listen to the recording and do this when you are in a space where you can close your eyes and be present with yourself. Even if you can't be fully present, you can't close your eyes, you can still benefit just by hearing what gets channeled through, just by opening yourself to the words, the sounds, if some come through, and the energy. I'm going to channel words, sounds, and energy in order to help you open up to the present moment, giving yourself permission to feel worthy, giving yourself permission to be, feel, experience unconditional love, infinite abundance. So, nice deep breath. Close your eyes if you can. And whether your eyes are closed or open, just take a couple of nice deep breaths. In through your nose, out through your mouth. And bring your awareness to your physical body. Feel your physical body. Feel, be aware that you exist. Aware that you exist right here, right now, in this moment. I exist. And breathe. I am aware that I exist. Here I am, me, present, me, here, right here, now. Nice deep breath. Feeling what you're sitting on or what you're laying on, or feeling your feet, what you're standing on. And breathing into that awareness. Awareness of what you are sitting, lying on, or standing on. And relax into that space. Allow yourself full presence, fully present now. I'm going to bring in some sound. If anything you experience is the energy of discomfort, just breathe and allow. Breathe into the discomfort. Let it open. Let it release. Presence. Presence now. Here, now. This moment. This moment. Let go of the need for validation. Nice deep breath. Feeling into the ever-present now. Feeling into the truth of unconditional love. 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 That which you are intrinsically in your being. Love. Love, light, awareness. Deep breath into your diaphragm. Create space, surrender, relax, and allow. The love that you already are. The absolute love, which is you. Breathe and allow yourself to open to that which you already are. Deep breath. Softening and expansion is occurring. Just breathe and allow. Worthiness. Worthiness. Allow this word to trigger you. Allow light to be drawn, shine upon your trigger. Worthiness. Worthiness. Breathe down into the pit of your belly. Deep breath, pit of your belly. Breathe, create space for all of those moments, all of those experiences that you didn't feel worthy of receiving. You didn't feel worthy of being, of being. Breathe right there. Relax, allow. Worthy of being. Deep breath, lots of light codes, high frequencies coming in. Breathe. Worthy of being. Breathe, open, worthy of being. Deep breath. Allow, allow, allow. Worthiness of being. Worthiness of receiving. Worthiness of receiving that which you already are, that which already exists right here, right now. Breathe and allow worthiness of receiving. Lots of high frequencies coming in. Keep breathing. Worthiness of experiencing. Breathing into your chest. Worthiness of experiencing the absolute, unconditional love of your being, of self. Deep breath. Create space there for these frequencies to come in. Worthiness of experiencing unconditional love. 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 Deep breath. Allow, breathe. Keep breathing, keep allowing. A couple of deep breaths into the chest. Create space. worthy of experiencing, being, receiving unconditional love. Breathe. Worthiness of experiencing, receiving infinite abundance. Breathe. Beautiful. Allow for processing. Allow yourself to process and receive the light frequencies that came in. Allow, allow, allow. And just take a couple of more breaths. And just notice from this space a different frequency in your field. Yes, those are light codes. But that comes from, through, within permission and presence. So validate your allowance within that permission. Validate your presence. Validate you, from you to you. Nice deep breath. And go ahead and open your eyes. If your eyes are closed, come back to this moment, this space. So I hope this has helped you connect to your intrinsic worthiness. I hope this has opened up your permission within that space, as well as brought awareness to the places in which you believe that you are unworthy. Now, in your experience, as you go into those moments of unworthiness, you can relax, you can surrender into your knowingness of worthiness and allow that light to help to transform that belief in that very moment. I hope you will join me next Thursday, always the same time, same place. 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I really love it when people call in and there's interaction. So if you ever feel the urge, please do call in. I love it. I adore it. And I will be seeing you guys next week for Divine Transmissions. Once again, with your host, Lisa Marie Shakti Ma. Thank you.